Welcome to episode 17 of Northwynd, the Druid True First Life series. I'm level 18. In this video, I'm going to be doing Elite Ritual Sacrifice in the Vale of Twilight. And that should ding me to 19. I still got to do running with the devils out here, then I'll be done with the Vale. And, I was so far into 18 by the time I took it that all I've done is, 3 of the Vale quests out here, and I'm already getting ready to take 19. Oh, here we go. Oh, I did Let Sleeping Dust Lie as well on Elite. I also did the weapon shipment, because I'm trying to get a bauble. And it's a level 18 item, Mysterious Bauble, and because that spell point clicky is going to be huge on this True First Lifer. And so that's level 21 on Elite, and now I was definitely under, well, I just didn't have the mana, is really what it boiled down to. Everything else was fine. I did die in the end fight. I made it all the way to the boss. I had to clear like the last 2 waves of trash just with SLAs. And so that took forever, and then I finally get to the boss, and I've got no resources left, and I'm like, oh, I could just, I'll just take care of my SLAs, it'll be a little bit slower. And he starts neg leveling me, and I have no resources left. I'm like, you know what? I don't want to drink pots, so he killed me. But I found out, I actually learned something really cool. So normally when you're in the end fight, if there's nobody alive in the end fight, it auto fails. So I was like, shoot, I can't re-enter. Came all this way for nothing. But then I realized that that's only for during the trash wave mobs. Once you actually get to the boss, then that failure mode goes away, because the failure mode says if you must be at least one person alive until the shipment arrives. Well, by the time you get to the boss, that's when the shipment does arrive. So I was able to recall out, get mana, and go back in, and I just destroyed the boss with Greater Creeping Cold. But so that was an adventure. Definitely would not recommend going in there on the first lifer at level 18. It's pretty ridiculous. I haven't really had any real challenges since my last video. I'm getting real close to my +2 favor tome, and I will be taking Constitution. And part of that reason is because I bought a Wisdom Tome. I got it for 51 shards, I think. So check it out. I'm up at 71 shards, and I was actually almost at 200. Well, I guess all total I would have, because I re-rolled the bauble chest 3 times. So that's 20, I think 21 shards. And then I bought these for 30 shards each. Globe of True Imperial Blood. And I brought these because I wanted to show you, like, I'm planning ahead. Meridian Fragment, Draconic Soul Gem. These will all be great on this True First Lifer. And so, again, I got 30 shards each and the tome for like 51, I think. And so, those are probably about average prices. The tome was probably overpriced, but you know what? I'm not trying to build long-term wealth on this server. I'm just trying to build wealth that I can use, but also talk about strategies for building wealth. And so this all came from that 1 shard that I got from the Monster Manual reward. And then I used that to post some rare collectibles and just built it up from there. And I kept posted more and more like rare and then the uncommon new collectibles. So yeah, I've been macking it on the shards. Not that 71's a lot, but I had none a few days ago, and all that allowed me to buy some of these really awesome augments. I'm gonna drink this. I'm gonna eat this tome right now. If you're a little bit newer, you used to eat tomes. Now you read them, but it used to say this bar, instead of reading it, would say nom nom nom. And it would go through the eating animation instead of the reading animation. The reading animation, I don't even think was around back then. Well, let's take a look at the gear since we're here. So, Wisdom 7, Conjuration Focus 2, that's the same as last video. And then the Heavy Blue Dragon Plate's the same. Braces of Wind is the same. This is a new ring. I really needed a higher wizardry item. I was just using wizardry 50 on the gloves, so wizardry 154 and false life 25 on the ring. And then, so the boots got dex 8, parrying 3, still got Mulb's Fist. This is that same ring. I had it on the, in case this doesn't seem right, for those of you following along, it was on the other finger before, but it's the same ring. this brings up a good point. You know, if you're swapping out gear here, you know, like on your hotbar, you know, and you need to switch to a different ring for something, it's going to be the right ring. So make sure that right ring is something that's like sort of not essential. Also, it's if you can manage it, pick something that's not going to cause like stat recalculations. Because whenever you have to recalculate stats on the fly, there's always, for me and for I know a lot of people, there's always a little bit of lag. And so, you know, if you're swapping out things on the fly, that often means, you know, you're in a pinch and you don't want to even deal with a tiny bit of lag. So put something in there that's not going to cause stat recalculation. And that's a little tip from your Uncle Voodoo. So I got Constitution 8, Natural Armor 8 on the belt. I think that might have been the same as the last video. Cloak of Flames is the same. Shamanic Fetish is the same. This is the same. So the Dexterity 4 is redundant with the boots. I didn't really have anything else I wanted to put there. Philosophic Circlet's the same. Wall of Wood's the same. This is the same. That stupid Speed Scimitar, but hey. It's fine. I'm gonna make it work. So remember I said there are no level 7 spells with spell components except for True Seeing, and you want to scroll that. Do not memorize True Seeing. Well, another funny thing is that there are literally no 9th level Druid spells with spell components. There is such a thing. You could buy 9th level Druid spell components, but there are no spells that require them. So don't get any 9th level Druid spell components. There is no use for them whatsoever in the game. So I picked up Snowslide, and you know I had Storm of Vengeance, but I picked up Snowslide instead because I have the SLA of Storm of Vengeance. That would be good enough till I pick up the regular spell next level. I like Snowslide because, you know, if I want to move around really fast or if I want to jump across a wide chasm, that's great. You know, just switch to Winterwolf form, hit it, and then switch back. Already talked about Mantle and Mass Regenerate. Oh, this is the best mass heal spell in the game. I just love Mass Regenerate. So, Anger of the Noonday Sun. This is a buff sort of like Mantle of the Icy Soul that you can use in Fire Elemental form, but it's so freaking unbelievably lame compared to Mantle of the Icy Soul, which is freaking awesome. So I have a theory that I mentioned once before, like in a video months ago. My theory is that when they were creating Druid and they were creating the spells, the dev that was like doing the programming for this, like he had notes on like a napkin that said, okay, Anger of the Noonday Sun and Mantle Icy Soul, and here's what goes on them. But then he spilled his coffee on that napkin, and instead of like trying to, you know, figure out from whoever the higher ups of what was supposed to be on here, he's like, I think this is supposed to go over here, and this is whatever. Because Mantle Icy Soul is so freaking awesome. It's got all this great stuff, and then Anger of the Noonday Sun's like 2% fortification penalty and minus 5% penalty to fire resistance to targets of your fire spells. Really? That's so bad. So it kind of seems like maybe some of the stuff on Mantle Icy Soul was supposed to be over on Anger of the Noonday Sun, like maybe the fort penalty, the fort save penalty, or the movement speed penalty or something. I don't know. They just are so imbalanced. So the bottom line here is that Anger of the Noonday Sun, not even really worth using. I mean, if you are going to run around in Fire Elemental form for a whole quest, well, I mean, it can't hurt tossing it on, but it's certainly nothing you want to go out of your way for. Other spells. Picked up, I don't know if I had this last time, but Cold Spray, or Freezing Spray, excuse me, is a level 7 spell that you can hit a mob with it, and it makes it 25% more vulnerable to cold in the last 30 seconds. Can be extended. And so, you know, that's great for hitting a boss with, and then hit them with Greater Creeping Cold. It's not something you typically want to do on trash mobs, although I do sometimes do it on epic elite trash mobs, like an archer or something, or a caster. Just depending on things. Probably nothing else to mention here in the spells. Crafting levels up to 62. Feats, 18 picked up. Oh crap, what's my level 18 feat? Improved shield mastery, I think that was 15. I got water elemental form. Quicken. Oh, heightened spell. Yeah, so my build post is, take, completionist if you got it. If not, then heightened spell. So we got that going. Okay, I chose this quest because I've never done a video for it before. I'm actually going to be switching back and forth between fire and water elemental form. And if I sound groggy or something, it's because I am. Most of the time I do my videos at the end of the day, or, late at night, like in the middle of the night. I'm kind of a night owl insomniac. But this one I'm doing at the beginning of my day. It's the first quest I'm running. Where's the caster? Gotta pick out the caster. There he is. Boom! I took a peek at my beginner's guide video of this level range, and I had about 75 more hit points on that toon. Which also first lifer, but I was benefiting from my wealth of the other server, and I could craft stuff and yada yada. And speaking of wealth, so I just posted, the last video I posted was the elite Lair of Summoning. Man, some people are busting my balls about having plat, and about having that pull and getting lucky and being able to sell for a lot of plat. I mean, everybody gets a little luck. I'm not gonna, throw something out the window just because I got lucky. And I got lucky later in the series too with the Ring of Spell Storing and whatnot. So I mean, some people are gonna get lucky, and I can't. But those certainly weren't necessary for me to build wealth. They just put me ahead of the curve. So that's an important point too. Like, if I never pulled that Vibrant Purple Iron Stone, I was still starting that day with a 500,000 plat. I know what was that, day 4. I mean, that's pretty good. And I was only going to build up from there. And I'm right now I'm up to 3.5 million plat. So almost plat capped on this toon. In fact, if I really wanted to, I would have been plat capped. But the thing was, I started posting some of those uncommon and rare new collectibles on the Shard exchange. I mean, if I had posted those on the auction house, oh yeah, I would have been plat capped. Set your own price for the new collectibles, at least right now. Oh, another thing that I did since the last video is I was off timer for DQ raid, so I went in there and at level 18, and it was just a walkthrough. It was it was trivial. So that what I was saying before, like even if you can't do it elite at level, like you could do it over level. And so if you're trying to get a base item from that raid, it's a very simple raid, and just go in there every 3 days. Like I'm gonna be off timer for it again tonight. And I'm gonna run it again. Actually, I haven't played all weekend. It's Monday the 5th now, I think, December 5th, and just working all weekend. But I did manage to get on. I farmed collectibles for a little bit, but I was out of town and on a strange computer, so I didn't want to try to do questing. But I was able to farm collectibles, and again, that's helped building up wealth right now with the shards. Where is the caster? No, there's got to be a caster up here somewhere. Maybe there's not in this group. Oh, there he is. Ooh. Oh, he's being a stickler. I love this cavern. It looks cool with the water reflecting on the walls. I love Body of the Sun for methods. They're so irritating. They're like as irritating as bats. And then they, they have a whatever 50% chance or something to respawn after they die. So as long as it's not a fire method, they just keep dying in the aura. So here is going to be your first ambush trap. There's 2 of them in here. They're always in the same location. And they're not. A lot of people think they're random, but they are not random. They are always in the same location. So it's here, and then on your way from the first upper camp to the second upper camp is the second one. So Body of the Sun is also good for air elementals that keep knocking you down. Because even when you're knocked down, they're taking damage, at least if they're close to you. Boosh. So I did an Abbot flag. I can't remember if I talked about that in the video or not. In a video. I Abbot flagged when I did the True First Life, and then I got to raid together, and it took forever to fill, and just didn't go very well. And, Abbot's kind of... I mean, it was my favorite raid. It is my favorite raid, and that's why, I wanted to really make that, like, the final video of the previous series and stuff. But, there's not really any point in me going out of my way to try to flag for Abbot. I only got 11 more levels on this toon, and then it's all over. I mean, what am I going to get 3 Abbots in that time? If I try real hard. But I was thinking, like, what am I going to flag for, anything? Somebody asked if I could keep a list of all my deaths, and I said, I'm talking about my deaths in my journal, but, that's a good idea. So I started a list. I just started it last night on the build post right under, basically right along with the journal, of actually listing all the quests that I died in and a note about each death. So I'll do that for the whole thing. And then they also asked for a list of quests, a list of quests that I was specifically avoiding because I thought they were too hard for the first lifer. So I'm going to do that. I haven't started putting that together yet, but that'll be a pretty easy one to do. It'll be quite beholder laden quests, Delirium and Elite Delirium will be on there. Temple of Elemental Evil and Slavers will be on there. Terminal Delirium. Ooh, 1 tick killed that fire elemental. This is another one of those quests that I just swear I did a video for and I can't find it. I feel like that all the time. That feeling probably comes from the fact that I've done these quests a lot of times, and explaining the quest to others that might be newer to it. And so I have that memory of going through here, explaining it, and that's what, how I run these videos too. I have low-cost healing slotted now. I'm not sure if I talked about that before, and I think if I did, I only had 1 of them slotted, so I'm going to mention those here in a second. I'm going to use this shrine for now, though. I could save it for later. I still have almost 600 mana, but I don't think I'm going to need it, so I'm just going to use it now. But I have, unmaximized, unempowered, greater vigor, so single target. I have quicken on it, because I don't want to lose it in combat. But, sort of maintenance healing, it's only 24 spell points. And then I have unmaximized, unempowered, but quickened, cure serious wounds. So that's only 21 spell points. So some low-cost single-target healing options. I mean, I can still use heal scrolls, and I am somewhat. bomb's broken. So one of the things I've been looking for in that auction house, you know, for future levels is a epic elite ring of spell storing, or a ring of shadows, because it has lesser displacement, and I'd like to get that for level 25. It has, yeah, it has lesser displacement. It's a 25% miss chance. If I don't get it, it's fine. I mean, I've got 20% miss chance from the blur on the bracers, but I do like that ring of spell, or the ring of shadows, the epic elite one. Epic hard and normal, I think, just has basically 20% displacement, so like the same as blur. This is really the easiest quest out here in the Vale, so on one hand I probably shouldn't have done this one. You know, like I probably should have done like running with the devils, because it's probably the hardest one out here, but oh well. Can't push it to the limit every time. But I'll let you know how running with the devils goes, because I think it will be challenging, you know. We'll see. It just depends. You know, I could get overwhelmed, but you know, if I can get my crowd control to kick in before they start overwhelming me, then that'll be fine. And that's, you know, that's how I manage with on the beginner's guide. One of the really cool things is Earthquake works on the Eladrin, even though they're floating around as little energy balls. And Earthquake does work. Drop our low cost SLA of Storm of Vengeance right in front of the portal. I mean, you can even do like, you know, Sleet Storm there too. That lasts a really long time. Sleet Storm doesn't extinguish Storm of Vengeance. It does Wall of Fire though, so you don't want to try to use those two at the same time. Fiend Blood spiders. It's Fiend Blood have alignment, unlike other spiders, so you can use Word of Balance against them. Whereas normal spiders, you know, you wouldn't be able to. So after this video, I'll do running with the doubles, and then I'll take 19, and then I'll probably only have to do like Reaver's Refuge quests. Oh, it's got spell resistance. And then that'll be it. You want to pick up the treasure bags. I mean, you always want to do it now anyways because they're collectibles, but here they can be planar shards. And planar shards is what you can trade to the guy in the market and get, you know, if you have 150 of them, you can get a large bag of your choice. Well, large collectibles. Or gem bag or ingredients bag. And they, you know, planar shards most frequently drop in the subterrane, but there are some limited other locations where they drop, like here. Certainly wouldn't want to farm them here. Creeping Cold, Greater Creeping Cold, Ice Storm. And might as well switch to Water Elemental form. Hit them with the Cold Spray. Examine them, make sure we're not overwriting our own dots. And this next round of Creeping Cold and Greater Creeping Cold should take them out. No problem. Goodbye, Kreen. Have a look around for collectibles. So this quest, even though it's probably the easiest one out here, can also easily fail in the end, especially now with champions and stuff, because you got to protect Paytas. If you're not paying attention to him, then he could die pretty easily. And he's I don't know what the deal is, but the last maybe year or so, his pathing seems to be messed up. And so I've seen him just like when you meet up with him before the end sequence, I've seen him just like run back out the other way, and I don't know if he's aggroing on like a mob down below or something. He's wanting to, but you really got to keep an eye on him now. So this is just right above where we just were. There's the portal over there, so you have your bearings if you're a little bit newer to this. That portal where he just killed Kreen at was right over there. So if you ever fall, you know, that's one of the things, you know, you're new to this quest and you fall and you panic. You're like, where am I? I don't know where to go. Well, this is right where we were, just above it. I don't have any energy resistances going right now. And probably fire would be smart. Like if I was a smart person, I would have done that. And electric. And then Sonic. Whenever you see Orthons, you want to make sure you have Sonic going. I mean, you probably have it on your ship bus, but if not, because Orthons, their little repeating crossbow they use does Sonic damage. Casters first. I know you've heard me say that a million times this series, but you know what? That's one thing I definitely want new players to take away from this. Take out them casters first. Word of balance. Takes him right out. Nope, not this one. It's the next one. So I'm gonna switch over to water elemental form now. Fighting lots of devils. Which I'm just gonna kite over here. Kitey, kitey, kitey. Let's see what happens. So this is Earthquake, Ice Storm, and Storm of Vengeance. And how about a Sunburst too? Get in here, get in my SLAs. I mean my AoEs. These archers are being stubborn. I was trying to go in here out of their line of sight so that they would follow me in. But sometimes when you have really thin walls, they sort of, you know, their AI can sort of see through those and they just try to shoot you right through them. Get a little low on mana, so I'm going to use a heal scroll instead of a regular healing spell. So I'm going to go over here to the second one first, because you gotta come back anyways to the second upper village. This is where you get your second ambush. I'm just kiting all this stuff just to try to make most efficient use of my mana. Earthquake and the SLA of Storm of Vengeance. Got heighten on for Earthquake. Just let it do its thing, because we are out of mana. But it's okay because we got the shrine right there, which we're gonna get right now. So this is above the first lower village. First started. There's some guys down there on a ledge that I never bothered to kill. Gotta make sure you get all the mystics. Those fiend blood looking gnolls, casters. But I could have saved that first shrine until after I killed Kreen and then gone back for it. You know, if you're running a little bit low on mana, that's definitely what you want to do. I just didn't think mana would be an issue. Do sonic resist, electric, fire, probably acid too. I think let's just do them all. And got wands too. You can't buy these, but not the 11th level versions. But, you know, you can find them on the auction houses I have. Great mana savings. I carry those even on my endgame tunes. Because, you know, if you throw a round of resists, you know, that could be 100 mana. You know, and if you just want to throw them on, you know, like Anna and Caught in the Web or something, I don't want to waste 100 mana on Anna. 100 mana on Anna, that rhymes. I mean, Anna is definitely not worth 100 mana. But it does beg the question, how much mana is Anna worth? Are you shaking your head yet? Uh-oh, did I miss a... Shit. But wasn't I just saying, don't miss the mystics? Alright, gotta check all these coves now. The alcoves. Let it just be... Oh, here he is, okay. You know, I was too worried about rhyming Anna with mana. I didn't thoroughly look at the little cubbies. It's all my fault. Okay, so here's the thing. Here's where pugs are going to make a mistake. So you're going to get some noob up here. Don't let that guy be you. As soon as you talk to Paytas, he's going. Okay? It's not when you open the door. It's as soon as you talk to him. Like, he's freaking going. Or maybe it is when you open. I don't know. Whatever the case may be, like, he's not waiting for your ass. He's going. And so, don't, you know, if you're the first one here, if you're not 110% sure that you can keep him protected and take care of all these mobs, then you wait for the rest of your group here. Because if you talk to him and you keep going and you fail this quest, the guy with the star is going to be real mad at you, and so is everybody else in this quest. Alright, so what I want to do here is give Paytas as many buffs as possible. Always good to buff, you know, anytime you're doing an escort quest. And I'm probably not going to need it, but you know what? These wands are throwaway. I'm going to hit him with every single resistance. And then you know what else I'm going to do? I'm going to hit him with every single protection. There's another lower level spell that I picked up. I haven't talked about that one. protection from elements. What's the difference? Well, this just gives him outright, like, you know, it's the first X number of damage is just going to be ignored. And then resistance is ongoing, like in this case 30 off the top of it every time he gets hit, but this will totally stop. First, I guess it'll be 120 points of damage from any element will be stopped. I think that's everything that I can reasonably hit him with. Ooh, stone skin. I wish I had blur or something I could hit him with that too, but I don't. Drink a little improved freeze pot. Talk to Paytas. Okay, no time for dancing around now. Gotta make it count. Keep an eye on Paytas. If he dies now, you're gonna be sad. Don't say I didn't warn you. Look, he's only down a sliver, but I'm not chancing it. I want him to be at full. Creeping cold. Produce flame. Call lightning saved. Word of balance. And produce flame. Keep an eye on Paytas. Don't let him die. Stay ahead of him so you get the aggro, not him. This is it. Just one more check on Paytas. He's doing fine. And we'll do cold spray. Greater creeping cold. Creeping cold. Storm of vengeance. Paytas is fine. No sweat. Ding 19. I've also been selling my ingredients that I get from these chests. I sell them for 95,000 each. Probably, well, maybe could have got a little bit more. And I'm talking about, well, not so much the lily petals. You can get those from farming the Slayer chests. But look at that. Paytas took off. You see that? What a jerk. I told you his pathing is all screwed up. Doesn't matter. It's complete now. I hope he dies. But you know, the the chipmunk funk and the glistening pebbles and that stuff. I'd been selling that for 95,000 each. So, you know, if I was going to stay on this server long term, I wouldn't have wanted to do that because I would want to make myself some green steel. But I'm not doing multiple lives here. It's one and out, one and done. Alright, thanks for watching. If you have questions about my videos, you can respond on YouTube. If you have questions about my build, you can respond to my build posts in the Druid forums. And if you're on Saralona, you're welcome to send me a tell.